Right, he is back. Leon Edwards makes his return to the UFC octagon against Belal Muhammad tomorrow night. My name is Rahul J. Chand. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. Look, man, I have a feeling. I keep feeling that like the audio isn't recording because I've already done this once. I've already recorded this video and I was so happy with the one that I did prior to this, but my mic wasn't connected very well, so the audio was shockingly bad, so I've had to record again. But that's not your problem, that's my problem. I've been wanting to make this video for a week, and the reason why I haven't made it all week is because I didn't want to jinx this fight, right? I didn't want something to happen from Monday to today for the fight to fall through, and then I'm sat here feeling partially responsible for talking about it too soon. So I decided to wait for them to weigh in successfully, and they have weighed in successfully for me to make this video. And also something extremely extraordinarily bad needs to happen from now until fight day for the fight to not happen tomorrow evening. I even made this fancy little poster over here, but you guys can't see it because the lighting isn't great. So let me just dim this down a little bit so you can see. Look, can you see the colors pop there? Edwards against Muhammad. Can you see that? Now it'll probably just autofocus. It has, so you can barely see it behind me. But I've gone to real great effort for this video. And the reason why I've gone to real great effort is because I've been talking about Leon Edwards for the last year. I've been talking about how bad I feel for him, how sorry I feel for him, etc, etc. And now he finally gets to prove his point tomorrow evening. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys a technical breakdown for this fight. What I will say is I feel like both of these guys have kind of, largely speaking, a similar style. They like to kind of impose themselves on their opponent. They like to be very active, kind of step forward and kind of take the fight to their opponent and just kind of grind on their opponent and mix up kind of grappling, wrestling, etc. and strikes. I just feel like Leon Edwards is the technically better fighter, and I feel like Leon Edwards has been operating at a higher level, like he's experienced better technical opposition than Belal Muhammad, and I think that will hold him in good stead for this particular fight. Leon Edwards himself looks in really good physical shape, man. He looks like he's in the best shape he's ever been in from the posts that I've seen of him on his social media. And he's kind of been talking about the improvements that he's made over the last year and a half, because he hasn't fought in that long. He hasn't fought since July 2019. So he's been talking about the improvements that he feels he's made. And I feel like he'll be very, very kind of keen to show these improvements against Belal Muhammad tomorrow evening. However, Belal Muhammad is a guy that is very tenacious. He's just a guy with a massive heart, in my opinion. And one thing about Leon Edwards is he needs to be careful. He needs to be careful because he can't go in there with this mentality of I'm gonna win and I'm gonna look good winning. I'm gonna look good doing it. Because if he focuses on the manner in which he wins, he might not win. He might lose. Like, he needs to focus on doing what he's done over the last 6, 7, 8 fights, or whatever it is that his win streak is. He needs to focus on doing what he's done in those fights, and he should win. If the finish is there, take it. If not, just keep doing what you're good at. Because if he takes his eye off the ball, Belal Muhammad is no mug, and he'll make Leon Edwards pay. Like, Belal Muhammad is this guy that's part of this kind of weird group in the welterweight division of kind of 5 or 10 fighters that just keep kind of having to fight amongst each other, that don't really get an opportunity to kind of fight against a top 10 opponent such as Leon Edwards is. So Belal Muhammad is a guy that has just been kind of stuck in this group of fighters that are just outside the top 10, but they're all very capable. And it might be that Belal Muhammad just hasn't had an opportunity of late to show just how good he is, or he's just a guy that is at that level, and he's just a little bit short of being someone that should be in the top 10. And tomorrow is the perfect opportunity for us to find out from a Belal Muhammad point of view. The only thing that I will say is Belal Muhammad has obviously been a lot more active than what Leon Edwards has been over the last year and a half, so that might work in his favour, man. Ring rust, I believe, is a real thing, despite what Dominic Cruz says. So it will be interesting to see what Leon Edwards looks like, man. But I think his primary focus needs to be taking Belal Muhammad seriously and just focusing on getting the win. However it happens, it doesn't matter. And the temptation I can understand of trying to look good doing it, because despite the fact that Dana White has, in an interview recently with BT Sport, and I think the lady he had this interview with is called Caroline Pierce, but I'm not sure, so apologies if her name isn't Caroline. But in that interview, Dana White did say that if Leon Edwards wins, he's guaranteed a title shot next. But Dana White often says things that he doesn't mean. He often says things and goes back on the thing that he said. He might wake up tomorrow feeling differently. We still haven't had an official announcement with regards to the Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal being coaches of TOF and then fighting each other for the belt. We haven't had any news on who Kobe Covington might be fighting next. And Chimaev is over there in America making, working on his health. Where's my other slipper gone? But yeah, Chimaev is... waiting, he's on the road to recovery. So there's a number of names and kind of options and different permutations within the division. And I don't think Edwards can kind of just take Dana's word for, he's going to get the next title shot. Does that make sense? With that being said, like Kamaru Usman is a guy whose career has kind of gone a very similar way to Leon Edwards, a guy that has been accused of being boring, etc., etc. He had to fight an extra couple of times before he was given a title shot, and I feel like Edwards is in a similar situation. So I think Edwards needs to take heart in that, really, and say, you know what, if it's not after this fight, if it's not after the next, eventually if I just keep winning, I'll be undeniable and they'll have to give me a title shot, the same way Kamaru Usman had to be given a title shot, and now he's the champion and he's defended his belt 3 times, so it is what it is. But I'm really kind of looking forward to this. Like, look, I have made no secret of it, man. I'm a fan of Leon Edwards. You guys are fully aware of it if you follow this channel, if you follow me. I like him, man. He's from here, he's from England, so I want to see him do well. I want to see him win. So this is a fight that I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night. One thing, kind of going back to this being a potential banana skin, what this fight reminds me of is when Anthony Joshua was due to fight Big Baby Miller, and Big Baby Miller got injured, he failed a drugs test, didn't he? He didn't get injured, he failed a drugs test, and then they had to get Andy Ruiz in, and the people that knew boxing knew that Ruiz wasn't a mug, and he's a guy that had the potential to upset Anthony Joshua, and that's exactly how I look at Belal Muhammad. I know obviously Edwards isn't the champion, but he is the guy that's the favourite going into this fight, and there are people out there that might be looking at Belal Muhammad as an opponent and someone that Edwards is going to beat, and then this is kind of just the hurdle that he has to surpass before we find out what happens next, where he goes from here, whether he does get a title shot or whether the UFC want him to fight someone else. Aside from this particular fight, the main event, there's a couple of fights that I just quickly want to touch on, because Gavin Tucker is a guy that I've been very, very, very I'm a big fan of his, man. I like the way I like his style, and particularly in his last fight, because he's such a technical striker. And what I kind of said previously is these guys that are used technical strikers, sometimes they struggle with guys that just keep bringing the pressure and keep coming forward, trying to take you down and just kind of making the fight dirty, right? But Gavin Tucker against Billy Quarantillo, he had that experience, and the way he negotiated that, I was very impressed with, man. I like how he strikes. I like how he fights. I feel like he's a very intelligent fighter, and he's fighting Dan Ige. I think that's how you pronounce it. But Dan Ige, who's a mainstay in that kind of featherweight division, and he's a guy that's been in there with a kind of operating at a top 10, top 15 level, and this is the first time Gavin Tucker or recently anyway, because I don't know his fight history off by heart, but this is the first time that Gavin Tucker in recent memory is stepping up to that level. So I'll be very interested, similar to Belal Muhammad, really. So I'll be very interested to see how he does against Dan Ige. And the other fight that I quickly want to talk about is another Englishman, Darren Stewart, the dentist. Darren Stewart is fighting Eric Anders. Eric Anders is a guy that has gone up and down in weight from middleweight and light heavyweight. He's a guy that kind of a few years back they were kind of talking really highly of, just because he was this athlete, man. Oh man, he's an athlete. He played football, pro ball, Cleveland Browns, whatever it is that he was doing. But he fought Machida. Do you remember when he fought Machida and people were actually picking Eric Anders to win? But anyway, it is he is where he is, right, for a reason. And the reason why I'm kind of looking forward to this particular fight is, like, it's weird how things turn out, because Kevin Holland's a guy that seems to have a lot of buzz around his name. And that was Darren Stewart's last fight. And Darren Stewart lost that fight on a split decision, but he finished the fight on top. Do you know what I mean? Like, he finished the fight getting the better of Kevin Holland. And, like, it's just weird how kind of Kevin Holland's career is just after that fight. And Darren Stewart is kind of, I feel like he's got the respect of kind of the fans in general, etc. But yeah, he just hasn't had the chance to fight an opposition that similar to Belal Muhammad again. An opposition that is kind of top 10, kind of a name in the division. So this is going to be a test for... I haven't looked at the odds, but I'm definitely going to be putting some money on the dentist to win this fight tomorrow night. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Let me know what you guys think if of anything that I've said in this particular video. If you've got any other observations about tomorrow's fight card, please feel free to share them in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like it, share it with a friend. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, you can also get all of my content on your favorite podcast platform. All you have to do is go in the description and click whatever link, click the link that relates to the platform that you use. So Spotify, Apple, all of that stuff is all kind of listed out there. Just click whichever one that you use, and you'll go to my podcast, and you can subscribe, follow, and like all of that good shit. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.